Next PTSD, anxiety, stress video of the day. This is 17, I believe. And why am I standing in front of a bunch of large sunflowers? And if you look this way, I got some corn. Because today, the tip I'm going to talk about is accomplishing tasks. And what I have behind me is a garden planted by two of my daughters. One of them planted the sunflowers and the other one planted the corn. And this was two tasks that they accomplished, and we had them do these tasks because we're dealing with COVID right now and they weren't in school and they needed something to get their mind off of COVID and have a sense of accomplishment. You know, every day waking up and getting excited as these plants get taller and taller from sprouting as a small seed. And today I'm going to talk about how when you have PTSD, stress, anxiety, how accomplishing small tasks will alleviate, and as we talk in a lot of these videos, release the dopamine. So remember, it's all about the dopamine. When you have stress and anxiety, some people reach out for drugs and alcohol to try and get that dopamine release. And as I mentioned in another video, that can lead to addiction, which will cause, you know, even more problems. Like I said, throwing gasoline on a small lit flame. And so talking about small little goals and tasks, and what some key things to focus on. You know how you feel when you accomplish something, when you finish a task, you stop and you look at whatever you finished. That is the release of dopamine. And in order to have an effective release of it, you need to think of what are some small tasks you can do that are going to help with this dopamine release. Now, you don't want to pick some tasks that are really large. You can have some long-term goals that are going to take a while, but you need a lot of short-term tasks so you can get that small dose of dopamine. You know, and there's a video clip, like I'll show you right here.
If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter.
And what we see in that video clip, you know, the first thing they did is get up and make their bed. Why? Because you have a sense of accomplishment. And when you accomplish something, you get that dopamine release. And so what is key is to find these small tasks that you can do to help you. Not only does it keep your mind off of the trauma caused by PTSD or whatever is causing stress, but it enforces that dopamine release. And really think about hobbies. Think about what type of things you can do. You know, I like to do some woodwork every now and then, build a shelf. I like to make videos like this. There's simple tasks that you can think of. And what I found also is with tasks, and especially if you set goals, there's something about having a checklist, the act of checking something off, or if you have an app that allows for that type of checklist. A lot of times they have a ding, 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 and there's something pretty exciting as you get the ding. It's weird. It's a mental thing. And then if it's a task of like a long workout of schedule, and then you have a bunch of check blocks, and you can see, you know, weeks of making your goal and checking the block. There's something about checking that block off that excites you too, and helps that flood of dopamine. And it's key. So what are some of the tasks that you can do? And you really just need to think about what kind of things make you happy. What are some stuff that you want to focus on? And I've talked a lot about cognitive development. I have a list of different tasks and I guess things that I want to learn or study about. So I jot them down, and then when I have time, I'll research and look into those tasks. Some of you may not be into researching and things like that, but find whatever that is that you can get focused on, and pick a little goal and execute it. Now, something that's key here too, especially, you know, if this symptom is common with people with PTSD, and especially like ADHD and things like that, is trying to stay focused on your tasks. And one thing I've learned with therapy, because I've had some issues with that, and I'm really like some real bad sleep apnea stuff I got going on that's kind of messing me up neurologically as well, that my focus, it's hard to focus on a task, and especially when I'm at work. I got emails, phone calls coming from everywhere, that I will be in the middle of a task and then my mind will quickly jump over to something. Like my brain is all weird. It's like I'll see a tweet or something and I will drop what I'm doing, and all of a sudden I'm spending like 2 hours trying to learn everything about feigning goats. Someone tweeted about feigning goats. I'm in the middle of work, and then I'm like, okay, so I dropped what I was doing. I started learning about feigning goats, which they don't feign, it's a muscle spasm. And so that was bad, because now I dropped the ball from one task and began to focus on something else. And when you do that, you prevent yourself from accomplishing a task. So what I've learned when I've talked to a therapist, what they explained to me is good, is that thought comes to your mind. I'm gonna write it down somewhere. If I'm at work, I do it on a notepad or something. That's a good idea. I'm coming back to you later. And then I focus back on the task that I'm doing so I can finish it and accomplish it, and then just feel good. You know, you feel good inside. But when you have many unfinished tasks, you feel inundated with stress. I got so much stuff to do. But when you focus on one task, and that one accomplishment of the task makes you feel good. And for those of you who know those that have stress or PTSD, another thing that really helps, being told you did a good job type of stuff. And so that helps a lot with the dopamine. So if I accomplish a task and I bring it home and show mommy, and I put it on the fridge and she really likes it and she's like, good job. There's something about, you know, like I'll make a video and I'll be like, hey, did you guys watch it? And if somebody likes it, you're kind of like, yeah, I want people to say they like my stuff too. You know, if you know someone has PTSD or stress or something like that and they accomplish a task, really, you know, speak to them, be like, that was real good, I liked it. Because not only do they get the dopamine release from finishing the product, but now they just added more, because you just, you acknowledge what you did, you accomplished a task, but it's real good as well. So that is key. Find a task, whether you have PTSD, stress or not, be goal-oriented all the time. Think of little tasks, small tasks, whatever. My windows are dirty. I'm gonna clean a window so spotless every day. And once that one window's clean, boom, it's good to go find something and make it happen, and you will see the difference.